What's good, guys? Mike B here with Manimal Fitness, and I'm coming to you guys today with a video about intermittent fasting. A very, very controversial topic, let me say. This question came from my boy Devin. He wanted to know my results from fasting, kind of how I went about doing the fasting, and any recommendation for people getting into it. So, let's get right into it. I'll give a brief explanation as to what intermittent fasting is. It's basically a period of the day you're not eating, and then a period where you are eating. Intermittent fasting says nothing about what you eat. It has everything to do with when you eat. That's it. So realize that. It's not a diet. A lot of people think I'm starving myself with this diet. I'm not starving myself, and it ain't a diet. So let's just, that's gone. I like to fast depending on if I'm on a bulk or a cut, depending on how my body feels. Sometimes depends on how my day goes. If I had a long day, I need to get a little extra food in early, or maybe I couldn't eat. I kind of just play with my eating window according to my day, but I try to keep it as consistent as possible. I would say I fast 14 to 16 hours of the day. That can range from 12 to 20 hours as well. So how I do it's a little more complicated. We'll keep it simple for the video, and we'll say 14, 16 hours is a good fasting time. So that sounds like a lot, but if you think about it, 7 to 9 of those hours you're sleeping. So you only have 7, 6, 7, 8, 9 hours to go at that point. And it does seem like a lot, but when you eat all your food, like, you got to realize too, you're eating all your food in the evening, most all your food in the evening, so your body's well fed throughout the night and into the next day. You actually aren't even hungry. You're probably gonna be more thirsty than anything. Just a lot of cold water, and that'll fix you right up until it's time to eat again. So 16 hours, 14, 16 hours, don't eat. 6 to 8 hours, you are eating. Here's where a lot of people go wrong. They think that now that they can eat, that they can eat whatever they want. No, because this isn't a diet and it has nothing to do with what you eat, only when you eat, you have to eat clean during your eating window. That's the only thing that makes sense. This isn't going to allow you to cheat in a way where you can get away with eating chips and Pop-Tarts and expect you're going to look good. You can lose weight still eating that stuff, but you're not going to retain your muscle. You're not going to look very good. You're going to look emaciated and sucked up and fucked up, essentially. So you're eating clean. When you do eat, your first meal should be high in carbs, medium protein, low fat. That's your first meal. You want a lot of sugar, vegetables, lean proteins, and good carbs. And what that's going to do is your body is at a state of, it heightens your insulin state, so that when you first eat, because you haven't been eating, so when you first eat something, you spike your insulin, and your blood sugar goes through the roof, essentially. Not in like a dangerous medical way, but more of just how the food is just rushing to your body, rushing to your organs, rushing to the muscle, going wherever it needs to go to be digested, broken down, and used as fuel. And if it's protein, then to use it to repair the muscle. So that first meal you want to make sure is a nice high carb, lean protein, low fat meal. And that's your first meal when you break your fast. Your second meal should be a smaller version of your first meal. So still good carbs, lean protein. It's like a gunshot back there. Could have been. We're in the woods. There's always gunshots. I'm always hearing around here. People are like, oh, gunshots in the hood. Man, there's gunshots everywhere. Everyone's got guns, all right? Get over it. Total rant there. Back to the fasting. I'm sorry. So, yes, you want to make sure that second meal you're eating clean. And the third meal, you can start getting away from the complex carbs, Get away from your rice, your sweet potato, your pasta. Make sure you're not having any of that as your third meal, especially not your fourth. Your third meal should consist of medium protein to high protein, vegetables, fruit, and fats. That's going to be the main basis for your third meal. You can, if you want to make like a wrap and you have like 20 carbs in a wrap, whole wheat carbs or something, that's fine. You know, as long as it's under like 30 grams. Don't go crazy with the numbers and all that, but try to keep it, you know, just don't get as much of those complex heavy carbs that you were getting in your first two meals. That's all. Third or fourth meal should be protein, fat. That's pretty much it. I wouldn't recommend fruit because you're going to be going to bed and the sugar is going to keep you up. You can have vegetables. Vegetables are good, but you know, it's tough when you're not eating all day and you're eating clean for all these meals to have, you know, have your vegetables at every meal. I recommend it, but if you can't, then don't sweat it. And so that's your 4 meals. And I basically would break that down every 2 hours. So I would have your first meal. So say you have your 8-hour eating window, your first meal, 2 hours later, your second meal, 2 hours later, your third meal, 2 hours later, your fourth meal. And that's it. And go to sleep. You're going to be well fed. You're going to wake up, have 2 big glasses of water. You're going to be filled up again for another several hours, and you'll start to get hungry. I like to work out on a fasted stomach as well. I think that's the key actually with most of this. When you work out, you produce growth hormone, and that growth hormone protects the muscle from being broken down, which is very important when it comes to fasting because when you're fasting, that you don't want your body going to your muscle to break it down, to start getting energy. So by working out, you actually protect the muscle by creating that growth hormone, and your body is able to preserve more muscle during a fasted workout. And actually, when you don't have food in your stomach and your insulin's low, you can produce more muscle. It's not steroid significant, but it's enough where if you're natural, you'll see it. You'll produce more growth hormone because you got to remember too, and this is maybe for another video. Growth hormone and insulin, they can't coexist with each other. So when your insulin's high, your growth hormone's low. When your insulin's low, your growth hormone's high. And when you're working out and you're on a fasted stomach, your insulin's very low. So your growth hormone is going to go through the roof. That's why they also say don't eat as many carbs before you go to bed, because that's going to spike your insulin. And when you sleep, you actually build the muscle that you're repairing and building the muscle when you sleep, not when you're awake. When you're awake, your body is using carbohydrates for energy. So, oh man, it's probably a lot of information. I don't know if everyone followed all that. I do apologize if that was too much. But you can always rewind a video, right? So go take notes, figure it out. It's all 100% factual, actual stuff. I'm telling you, go research it. Do what you got to do. But another thing is, too, people don't realize with intermittent fasting, they say like you're supposed to get these small meals throughout the day. And while that's true, if you can get very lean, specific meals every 3-4 hours throughout the day, that's the best way to go because you're constantly feeding your body. But the reasons they use to support that method aren't correct. So they'll say things like, oh, you need a specific amount of protein every couple hours, and that's why you need to eat several meals, because you need to keep getting that protein for protein synthesis. And it's like, okay, well, if I need a piece of protein every 3 hours to activate this or maximize protein synthesis, then how come the same piece of chicken, for instance, in my stomach is being digested over 8 hours? So if it's being digested over 8 hours, then why do I need to get protein every 3 hours? You see what I'm saying? It's starting to, it doesn't hold water. a lot of their a lot of these old school ideas, the several small meals or whatever it is, like these are from people that are either that have very good genetics, or they're using steroids, or they've been doing fitness for a long time and they're in great shape and their metabolism's great. Then you can get away with doing that, and you'll actually build a little more lean mass that way. But for anybody else, if you don't have good genetics, if you aren't in great shape, if you're not on steroids, I'm probably talking to most of you out there, then you want to ignore that information because it doesn't hold true for you. Couple minutes side rant there, but I figure I got to give some background on intermittent fasting and give some science to back up what I'm saying, and not just tell you what it is for my experience, even though I think your personal experience should speak louder than any science project, because this is the ultimate science project is what you do to yourself. So that basically broke down what intermittent fasting is, how I go about it, and the best way to get the best results. You want to do your 14 to 16 hours fast, drink a lot of water throughout the day that you're not eating. First meal is going to be high carb, lean protein, low fat. Second meal is going to be similar to the first. Third meal is going to be your protein and vegetables and fruit, and your last meal is going to be just protein, vegetables, and fats. And train hard in the gym, train fasted, and do some cardio after. Like you're gonna find that when you train fasted, you're actually not hungry for a little while. You're not hungry during the workout, that's for sure. When you take your pre-workout, get some caffeine in you, you will not be hungry, I guarantee it. But being hydrated is key. If you're well hydrated, that's also going to suppress the hunger. A lot of hunger pains people feel is actually could be when they're thirsty, and I'm not talking about just for fasting. I'm talking about in general. So I'm just coming up with some ways that you can make sure that you're not hungrier than you need to be. You're not really hurting yourself, because I think a lot of people, they stress about it and they feel those hunger pains and they don't realize that it's because, well, you didn't eat enough or the right meals with the right fiber and the protein the night before. You ate empty carbs and empty foods, and you're not hydrated. So that's why you're actually hungry. You're not hungry because of the fasting. You're not hungry because your body feels like, I need food or I'm going to start breaking muscle down. You're hungry for other reasons. So eliminate those X factors. You don't need them. When you're trying to log results, you need as concrete and accurate information as possible without variables. So I think that's the best way to go about it. Get those meals in, and then sleep. Get good sleep. You're gonna wake up well rested, I guarantee it. And train hard, fasted. Come home, break that fast with that first meal about an hour or two after. I would even highly consider doing cardio, low intensity cardio. After each workout, I just walk for 30 minutes. Just a nice walk. My heart rate starts coming down, but it's still high enough where I'm burning calories. A light sweat. That's all. Just something light. And then go home, shower, clean up, cook food, and eat. And then have your 4 meals. Rinse and repeat. Do it for a month. Log your results. And if you don't have results after that, send me a message. Send me your log results. Take a picture of them or something, and I will personally put a program together for you that you will get results, because it could be just your body type and a special case scenario for somebody. So if someone takes all this advice, puts in the work, and they don't get the results, please send me a message with your log results and what you did, and I will personally put together a program for you that will kill the fat. I guarantee it. I'm like a freaking ninja with the fat. Just cut it all out. You don't even know. So yeah, I love intermittent fasting. I'm going to have to make more videos on this. This first video is obviously going to be a little longer because I had a lot of content to cover. But I would say stay tuned for more information on what intermittent fasting is and more ways to go about doing it where it's more flexible, because there's ways you can make it flexible, but there's also times you can't be flexible about it. So I'll make some videos, maybe an intermittent fasting series, because I take this shit seriously. I do it every day. I'm fasted right now, so I don't know. I got nothing but love for anybody who is in the fitness industry and doesn't agree with this, but try it out first and then come talk to me. Mike Brennan, Manimal Fitness, we out. Peace!